Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Angels and Destiny show. Why is this show called this, you may ask? So I'll tell you. The accepted meaning of angel is messenger, and the accepted meaning of destiny is to make firm establish. So my guests and I bring you messages to establish what you need to know in the present. And of course, I like working with angels and the calmness they bring. Now, in a moment, I will introduce you to my wonderful guest, Melanie Savage. But before that, I'd like to say thank you for watching this show live or at a later date, as it really does mean a lot to me to be able to connect with like minded people. Now, if you've never met me, then my name is Ray, and I'm a guide who helps you remember your divine presence so that you can heal your past, create your future, and transform your present to raise your consciousness, understand your spiritual path, and take charge of your destiny so you can spread your wings and soar. I'm the founder of Radiant Angel Energy, and I use angelic Reiki, future life progression, past life regression, guided meditation, and angel oracle cards to assist you in remembering why you are here, your spiritual path, and the clarity on the next steps to take. I also offer a multi-dimensional virtual retreat, several transformational packages, a journey through lifetimes, a 6-week guided meditation series to help you gain confidence, and various workshops. Now, each episode of this show covers various themes of your journey, a mini guided meditation or angel oracle card reading with the wisdom of my wonderful guests, like today's guest, Melanie Savage, about this blessed day when the veil between the worlds is thin, as we come together to connect and share what it means to recognize and celebrate Samhain, or Halloween, if you want to call it that, and any of all of the cycles of the year for the modern witch, or a pair of modern witches, don't know who they might be, and how that connection can be deeply embedded in the beauty and majesty of the celestial realms, working closely with the angels and the archangels. Now, Melody is a creatrix, an angel intuitive, a writer, a designer, a mentor, an alchemist, an ever evolving and expanding soul. Guided by the angels to found her company, This Divine Life, in 2016, to offer support to people on their own individual and unique journeys. Melody uses her gifts and talents to remind you that the answers you seek are all within, mentoring you to find those answers and guiding you lovingly through the process. With testimonials such as Melody is amazing, positive, warm, friendly, and fantastic lady. She has calm spiritual approach, and conversation with her is always very helpful and enjoyable. Thank you for your friendship and guidance, Melody. And Melody is one of life's miracle workers. She has an extraordinary ability to help you recognize your deepest desires and fears, the blocks to creating your inner peace and happiness. If you are feeling blocked in the desire to manifest wealth, health, and happiness, I urge you to step out of your comfort zone and to make contact with the marvelous Melody. Just do it. I did. So, without further delay, hello, Melody, and welcome to the Angels and Destiny show. How are you today?
Hi, Ray. I'm awesome, darling, and I'm really delighted to be with you on this blessed day and, sharing whatever is going to come up this evening. It's very exciting.
Beautiful. So before we get into this fascinating conversation, I want to remind you that not only can you share this video, but you can also ask questions, leave comments and thoughts, as both Melody and I want to be part of this conversation. So please don't be shy. And so far we've got Tantara. Hi, Tantara. Welcome back. Eric. Hey, guys. Wish you could stick around. Blessings to you both. Happy Samhain to all. Elaine, good evening, Ray and Melody. Brilliant. Thanks for saying hello, Eric. I know sometimes you have to disappear off, but that's absolutely fine. Happy Samhain to you as well. So, Melody, why don't you tell us more about your journey and about Samhain, modern witches, angels, and celestial beings, and how they're all connected?
Okay, how to join up the dots. That's often highlighted by our own journeys, isn't it? So we often talk about waking up when we're talking about our journeys. And I was abruptly awoken back in the 90s by having a car crash where I walked away completely unscathed. And it was one of those miracles that you don't recognize at the time because you are in absolute shock. And it's like you're living a dream. It's happening all around you, yet you are a part of it. And it was only looking back later that I realized, and everything that happened and unfolded or started to unfold from that point that it was literally the sudden and abrupt wake up call that I needed to shake me out of my human torpor, my stupor, and get things moving. And a friend of mine recommended a transformational course that they'd done in London. It was one of these very American rah-rah things, but it was exactly what I needed at the time, which, you know, is always the case because everything is in divine and perfect timing, as we know. And it's gone on from there. Back in the 90s, as part of this course, I met my then Reiki master, later became a Reiki master myself. And as my journeys unfolded, I have learnt to listen and follow my own guidance. And what surprised me was when the angels started calling. It was not an area that I was ever interested in or consciously interested in. And it wasn't something that I sought out. And I don't know whether anybody's a fan of Doctor Who, but I've got two boys. And when they were little, we always used to watch Doctor Who. Of course we did. And there was always references to knocking, and the knocking getting louder and louder and louder and louder. I just start drumming.
Yeah.
So basically it was like that, you know, they wouldn't go away. And it was like I really didn't want to know. And there came a point, I couldn't tell you exactly when, but it was like I stopped resisting and I started listening and enjoying the communication. And as you know, like communicating with anybody, the more you do it, the easier it gets, the more you get to understand and recognize the different voices and the messages. And it's magical and wonderful and sometimes incredibly challenging, because I'm sure you find this when you get asked to do something and I just sit here and go, really? You want me to do that? And it's just like, I think you relate to that one, don't you? I do it after I have resisted and sometimes had a little tantrum and gone, no, I don't want to. And it's always the right thing for me and the people involved, or whatever the situation is. Of course it is, because, you know, angels can see what we cannot see, an incredible perspective. So how do angels fit with being a witch as well? Well, I didn't know I was a witch. I couldn't tell you when I made that connection and really recognized that. It was something that, again, unfolded gradually as part of my path. And, you know, this is the danger I find of labels, because people make associations. You can't be this and that, or they think one thing means something and another thing means something else. Labels are useful in the fact they help us to relate to each other. However, I'm just wary of them. I like the association of witch as wise woman, not saying that I'm wise, but it's that recognition of bringing and sharing, most importantly, sharing what you do know and being open to listen and to receive the knowledge and the wisdom from others, whether that's on this plane or on another plane, or both, preferably. Certainly from, I'm going to take the liberty and say our perspective. I thought you'd like that one. Because at the end of the day, and the beginning of the day and the middle of the day and all throughout the day, it all comes down to love. Angels are about love, and they are, most people know, they're also known as the messengers of God. and their message is one of pure unconditional love, and they love nothing more than seeing us enjoy. And we are here to enjoy our lives, and that is what I do in my work, and that is what I do in every aspect of my life, because as you know only too well, when you, and I hesitate with the word work, when you are in this world, there's a real blur in a good way between your work and your personal life, because you're expressing who you are. There is no end and there is no beginning. Oh, that feels really deep. It's the alpha and the omega, the never-ending circus, or the circle rather, or maybe circus.
Be a circus.
Yeah, definitely a circus. And also the I'm doubting myself to pronounce this right, the Ouroboros, the snake with a tail in its mouth, so creating
Yeah.
that never-ending circle. And now I've lost my thread.
That's absolutely fine. I've lost that thread at all. It's like, hey, I'm so caught up in the in what you were saying. Yeah, and I agree. We sometimes do put labels on things and people when we don't need to, because it is all one. When it comes down to it, whether you follow a Wiccan, a witch path, a cunning woman path, cunning man path, wisdom path, you work with the angels, you follow that one, you work with extraterrestrials, galactic beings, etc. It all
Yeah.
comes down to, as you said, that unconditional love and the information that comes through that you share and you listen to.
Yes, yes. And it's an incredible privilege to have access to that, both, receiving and giving, and receiving from, all sources, the person you bump into in the shop, or wherever that information comes from. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about was because this sort of marrying and matching, or not matching, or appearing of mismatching of different genres, or sources of ideas and thoughts and wisdom. I used to really struggle when I saw people I knew, and they'd be training in one modality. So I'd know them, say, I don't know, as a particular therapist, and then they'd explore shamanic training or whatever it was. And it took me a while to recognize what my own internal struggle was about that. And part of it was reflecting back to me what was going on inside of me, unbeknownst to my conscious self, you know, coming to peace with all the different parts of me. And it was also that recognition that we are all multifaceted, whoever we are, wherever we have come from, and however we've arrived where we are in this moment. It's very much about recognizing the gifts and talents that we're aware of, and then allowing these other things to come through, to come in. And whether that's from past lives, wherever the source is, and I've often seen this, it's that understanding that if you've been a shaman, or if you've been a witch or a wizard or whatever in another lifetime, maybe in another universe, maybe on another planet, then that is part of your makeup. That is somewhere within you. And then in this lifetime, it's like we've got the opportunity to bring like the best of the best. It's like being able, I'm getting really excited by this idea. It's like being able to make the best cake we've ever made, because we've got the best ingredients. And all of a sudden, we know how to call these ingredients in. If we get past all these misbeliefs about having to be a certain way, or fit labels or boxes or whatever we want to call them, and just allow ourselves to express who we are in that moment, because who we are in the moment is going to be different each moment.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it as, it's the more we get out of our own way and unfold, it's very much about allowing ourselves to step more and more into our own power, whatever that looks like for each and every one of us. And the more we do that, the more of our natural gifts and talents come through. What we often talk about as shining our light, they're not always again, they don't always fit labels. Being kind and compassionate are superpowers, yet up until fairly recently, in the last few decades, they haven't really been recognized for what they are. So it's having the capacity to recognize that who we are, well, quite frankly, is incredible. And the more we allow ourselves to step into that, to accept that and open up to our own incredibleness, allows actually more of who we are to come through. And as you know only too well, Ray, I don't need to teach you how to suck eggs. Um, where did that expression come through
I
from?
know. Who thought that one up?
I know, we're not talking Easter eggs here, are we? I'm sure someone will know and fill us in. Otherwise, we'll have to check it out later. It's now I've distracted myself. What on earth was I talking about? Now I'm talking about eggs, which are a great symbol. So again, it's symbolism is really important. So I'm going to allow the natural being distracted to take me in a slightly different direction. When we spoke, must be a couple of weeks ago now, and we were talking about this upcoming show, I noticed in my diary that it's Monday, obviously, it's the start of the week, and most importantly, from my perspective as an angel intuitive, it's the start of week number 44.
Ah.
So for anybody who's into their angel numbers or interested in numerology, fours are always associated with the angels. And if we want to get really precise, I have some angel number books here. As anybody who is interested in angel numbers and angel numbers in particular, you will find that depending on the source, you're going to get different meanings or slightly different meanings. And that's actually a really important thing to touch on, I believe. It's that whole, we can all talk to the angels. We all have the capacity. We all have, some people say one guardian angel. I believe we have more than one guardian angel. It's all about listening to our own discernment and about as to what's right for us and trusting our own guidance around this. And it's the same with, if we look up anything, whether it's about spirit guides or spirit animals, we've had a certain sighting or message and we want to check it out. There's so many great sources of information now. What really matters is recognizing which one resonates with us. In other words, what makes our heart sing? Where is that truth resonating in our body? And when we feel that and experience it, it is pure magic because it's aligning with who we are, which is, of course, pure magic. Which is divine and perfect. Oh, Jill, your phone is at 44%. Oh, there are no coincidences. That is just super awesome. So I'm going to just read the original 101 Angel Numbers Primer by the good old Doreen Virtue, which says the angels are giving you extra comfort, love, and support right now. Ask them for help with everything and listen to their guidance through your intuition, which of course is beautiful. So if that resonates with you, take it as your own, own it and enjoy it because it's a beautiful, beautiful message. This more modern version, this is Carl Graves' book. As you can see, I've used it so much, the title's rubbed off.
Which you do.
Yeah, it's worn out. But the inside hasn't, so that's what matters. And this one says, your guardian angel is wrapping you in a cloak of loving protection. You are safe, which is a beautiful reminder for us all. Whatever is going on in our lives, we don't always feel that. And that's the reminder to ask the angels to draw near. That's a lovely expression I like to use that resonates with me, to ask them to come nearer, draw near, be close, whatever language you're comfortable with, and see if you can feel their presence or their presence approaching. If you're particularly in tune, you may already be highly sensitive to energies and the energies of your angels, and maybe even be able to distinguish between different angels and your guides. So it's about allowing yourself to ask, because as we know, if you ask, you shall receive.
And that ties in nicely with what Tantara said. In what way do the angels talk to us? For example, they say yes, no responses, or do they send you a symbol only, or can they use sentences like it appears in some religious texts?
Fantastic question, Tantara. Okay, yes. Are you happy for me to answer this, Ray?
Yeah, totally.
So we've just touched on angel numbers. So if you're, this is a great way that angels send us messages. If you suddenly start seeing numbers or becoming aware of numbers, whether that's on clocks, like digital clocks, whether it could be things like till receipts. If you're observant and you're picking up a till receipt and you see something, pay attention, because maybe it's telling you something. Number plates, anywhere that you come across numbers, particularly if you see the numbers more than once, then pay attention, because the angels are trying to get your attention to say, hello, we've got something to tell you. And often that can be a really good way to tell us quite a complex message if we haven't got the confidence to communicate, or perhaps we're not accustomed to communicating with them. So lots of other different ways. So we've mentioned number signs. How about feathers? Classic one, angel feathers. We talk about being white feathers, but any feather can be a message from an angel. I had a black feather I found on my bedroom floor, literally at the weekend, and that's all about, endings and beginnings. And it was really, what's the word, pertinent to a situation that I'm experiencing. So the messages are all around us. Pink feathers, orange feathers, more unusual. But if you see feathers in unusual and unexpected places, apart from just white ones, it's such a joy and a wonder. And always allow yourself to enjoy the wonder of it, whether you know what it means or not. It's about allowing yourself to experience the joy that it brings, the fact that you are communicating with the angelic realm, whether you have a lot of confidence in it or not. It's the fact that the signs and the symbols are there, and they can come in any shape or form. And that's why it's so important for us to trust our discernment, what we feel, because feeling is another way that the angels can communicate with us. If the temperature in a room suddenly changes, if it goes very hot or it goes very cool, if you are one of the very early experiences I had of was a presence round the back of my head. I more often get contact through my crown chakra, my arms, my forearms. Sometimes my third eye goes nuts, and that tends to be what I say. I go, oh, my third eye's going nuts. And the thing is, I don't always know what it means, and it doesn't matter. But the beauty is, if we don't know what it means, we can ask free writing, journaling is a great way to allow communication to come through. You can literally sit down with a piece of paper and write something like, what do the angels wish me to know today? Or you can actually ask them a question. Angels, what do you wish me to know today? And the more we start communicating, the more that communication opens up. It's like anything, the more we pay attention. As I like to say, what we focus our attention on, our energy grows. What we focus our intention on, that's where our energy goes. Okay. Yes,
What
they
about
are,
if
Malik.
it's
Yeah,
yeah?
I'm reading your question. Sorry, Ray.
No, that's fine.
Absolutely. Yeah. If it's unexpected, absolutely. Yeah. And listen to your heart. It's very much about, do you feel that they are reaching out to contact you? Of course you can ask more than one question. Be greedy.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Whilst you've got Melody here, just ask, ask the questions.
I
Like
think sorry, Ray. I was just going to say, I think Tantara was talking about, can you ask the angels more than one question? And the thing is, there are no limits. The only limits are what we place upon ourselves. What it comes down to is the fact that we limit ourselves. First of all, we don't ask for help. And then if we do, we often think we're taking that help from anyone, someone else, we think someone perhaps needs it more, or perhaps we're not deserving or worthy. Well, let me tell you now, you are. You are so worthy, and you are so good enough, and you absolutely can ask, and you can ask 1,000 times. You can ask about the smallest things. You can ask about the biggest things. You can ask about everything in between. Give you some examples. I always ask the angels for guidance about what to wear every day. I know that may sound really trivial to some people. However, it's another way that life becomes effortless and more enjoyable. It now is at the stage I just open the wardrobe door and I just know. I look and I go, oh, it's that today, is it? And there's no thinking. It's just like, oh, it's like we've just got this, no asking now is required, and there's no sort of formal communication around that. It just happens, which is, on lots of levels, it's hilarious. It's a really good example, if seemingly trivial, of how life can become more effortless when we allow ourselves to be supported, when we allow ourselves to be guided, when we allow the magic of life to come in and come through us, and to be received by us and to be shared with everyone. I'm sorry, Ray, I interrupted you.
no. That's absolutely fine. Expected places, yes, you are. They can also be message. Feathers can be messages from the angels. Again, it's what you feel. So if you're walking in a park and you've had a question on your mind, and suddenly you're not sure, am I being supported? Is it a yes, a question? And you suddenly see a load of feathers. If you feel that that's an answer for you, then that's an answer for you. Yes, there are birds that drop feathers all the times, but if you know, but we don't notice it all the time. It's when you notice, you suddenly go, oh, there's a load of feathers there today. Oh, there's a load of feathers, whereas you might normally have ignored them. So it's when you notice, they're nudging you to notice, that you can see them.
Yes. Perfect. Well said. And it is exactly that. It's the nudges. And nudges can take all sorts of forms. I gave you the huge nudge I had at the conscious start of my journey, in the form of a scathed, I was going to say scathe-free, I don't know if that's good English, walking away scot-free from a car accident, which of course was a divine intervention and a blessing. And it's one of these things that, let's pay attention to the signs that are right in front of us that we get on a regular basis. So we don't have to have a rude awakening and get a big shock and have to go through anything like that. Let's keep it simple. So,
Yeah. And Tantara has got a question. If it was to
okay.
call the angels into your life with tangible results, if you aren't initiating Reiki or some kind of energy healing system, for example, to feel the tingling you said. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'll let Melody answer that one, but you don't need to be initiated.
No. And as Ray knows only too well, we're all healers and have the potential and the possibility to heal not only ourselves, other people as well. Tantara is very much about trusting. It's always about trusting. You know, trust what you feel, trust what you hear, trust what you know inside of you. Sometimes we just get a knowing. It's like we know something. If you're very auditory in terms of your hearing, and sometimes the angels will naturally start tuning you in through those senses because you've got a natural bent in that direction. If you're particularly visual, your clairvoyance may be, you know, emphasized, and it's recognizing, as we were saying earlier, with your natural gifts and talents, you know, making use of those yourself. The angels will also make use of those as well to help you and to help them to help you. So they're here to help and support us, to guide us, and to help us to help others, whatever is appropriate in any given moment in our lives. So the more we can trust, and the greatest way to trust is through confidence, and we get that through practice. So that's practice listening, it's practicing any of these things that we've talked about, you know, recognizing that, you know, you have seen a sign and allowing yourself to believe it. I mean, that's a big step for a lot of people. They'll receive a sign and then they'll doubt it and they go, oh, I'm not sure now. Um, Allow yourself to recognize that you are being guided and led towards great things, positive things, blessings, beauty, love, joy, abundance, all the good things in life. For you are so worthy of all blessings, and the angels bless you.
They do, and apologies to everyone. I keep playing myself. It's because they're about that they keep playing with me. So Ward says maybe a weird question, but if someone is in spirit, does it stay the age it had when they left? Do they become older in the spirit world? Now I can't really answer that one because I don't really work with spirits.
Okay.
Although I
Okay.
work on the earth plane and deep and the ancestors, etc., and I kind of like do work with spirits, I kind of like bypass that fourth dimension thing
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
mediums and spiritualists.
Yeah.
So I can't
Yeah.
answer that question, Wald, for you. Some people say that they do age, some people say that they don't. I don't know if you've got an answer on that one, Melody.
Well, I completely agree with what you've just said, because, you know, that's really a question for a medium. It's one of these things, though. You know, certain things, and we've all had personal experiences. I've experienced contact from lots of people who have passed over, as I'm sure you have, and it's one of these things that we, in our humanness, think about someone as perhaps the age we remember them when they left this plane. It's more about their personality. My belief, my opinion, and my experience is their personality remains the same, and the difference is the age is more about, it's soul related. And I understand that, you know, you can almost choose to a certain degree. Certainly when you go back into your soul energy, but if it's just in the spirit plane, a lot of people believe that people remain at the time and space of the actual age when they passed. I hope that helps.
And if it isn't, we do have Graham here, my friend
Excellent.
Graham, who is a medium.
Perfect.
So
Graham can answer that one then.
so Graham, look back towards question, and
Uh,
because you're probably more better at answering that question than both Melody and I. So please
Not our
do.
field of speciality.
No, no. And Graham and I do the Angels and Spirits show once a month
Oh,
as well.
fantastic.
Yeah, so Malik says, my light bulb's blown out twice at the weekend. Is that a sign from the spirit?
Well, I could make a joke about faulty electricity, and you know whether your electricity is faulty because there'd be lots of things not working and all the rest of it. Yeah, I sometimes find that my light bulbs blow, and it's quite a common way that spirit or the angels can communicate with us because it's quite a dramatic thing when it happens. It goes, oh, you certainly notice it, and it pulls your attention up. So what I would say to you is, what is it that you need to take notice of? What is it you need to be aware of? And, recognize that the angels are, first and foremost, they're saying hi and they want to get your attention. And also, is there something specific that they want to get your attention around? Maybe something I'm getting the feeling that you're not paying attention to or avoiding, perhaps. And that's okay. Just recognize it because they're giving you a little nudge. So, yeah.
Yeah. And Tantara says, do angels have human-like figures, hands, heads, etc., or they're more like energy cloud or something like that?
Oh, great question. Well, that's one of those things that depends whether you see angels, and I do. Um, Angels appear to us in the form that we can see them. So it's a common understanding that angels look a certain way, like a very beautiful human with big wings. We've all seen many pictures, many paintings from the past, and all the beautiful digital art that's around these days. Um, Angels can appear in all sorts of ways, orbs of light, sparkles in the air. It's one of these things, if you see angels, they will appear to you in a way that you can understand and relate to, so that you feel safe and you know that that is who they are. The other aspect is, do they really look like that? Well, I'm not in the seventh to ninth dimension right now. Otherwise, we
No.
wouldn't be having this conversation. My understanding is they are light beings. And, to interpret that as a human being, we have to interpret things through the channels we've got, which is our own field of perception, our own understanding. So, what I would say is interpret that how you wish, whatever feels right for you. Again, it's back to your own truth, it's back to trusting. If you like angels to look a certain way, then have them look that way. Certain artists will depict them very differently. If you like the idea of them as appearing as orbs of light, then allow yourself to enjoy that experience. There really is no right answer and no wrong answer. And that's often the case with a lot of, angelic work, spiritual work. It's about listening, receiving, giving, and then trusting, And as Ray was saying about, if you've asked a question or you've got an answer, something on your mind, and you see a sign, recognize that as confirmation as to what you've been asking or seeking confirmation about. Trust yourself.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing is
Mm.
trusting. You know, I don't see angels. I've never seen an angel in my life, but I know them as energy, as light energy. that's how I experience them. So everybody does experience them in completely different ways. And yeah, I don't think no two people ever see them the same, which is the beauty and the uniqueness
Yes.
of all of us, is the fact that we see them and
Mm.
we understand them, we connect with them in different ways. And Graham says, I think the energy of angels in whatever form uplifts one own inner spirit. Dogs, cats, sounds, whatever it is, that is triggered.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Graham. Thank you. And that's it, isn't it? Because angels are such high vibration that, it's like I was saying about, angels enjoy nothing more than seeing us enjoy. So when we connect, when we speak or think about the angels, even that starts to raise our vibration and our frequency. This is one of the reasons why I am so joyful, is, it's this beautiful connection. It really helps focus me on my inner joy. My joy becomes much more fluid, fluent, proficient, profound. Let me think of loads of wonderful adjectives. It's just, it just flows effortlessly. It just, what it is for me, is it's just easier to tap into who I really am, to not only enjoy my joy, but most importantly, to be my joy.
Yeah, that's really a deep thing. Yeah, to be your joy is absolutely an amazing thing to be. So
Yeah, baby.
totally, totally. So we're talking about Samhain, and
Yeah.
obviously the veil is thin today, and obviously again, because the veil is thin, of it, the spirits of our ancestors, our departed loved ones, it's so much easier to connect with them, but it's also easier to connect with higher beings as well today, from other dimensions and
Absolutely.
times.
Yes, absolutely. And again, that's very much about the trusting. Traditionally, I'm glad you mentioned, the whole idea of ancestors, because sometimes in our modern communities, we can forget our roots, we can forget our heritage and where we've come from, and the importance of that, whatever the human stories are, that groundedness that we get in a very different way, that is very different from what we get from Mother Earth, for example. And particularly if you have experienced a being passing over, a loved one passing this year, since the last Samhain, then this point in time is a perfect time to actually reach out to them in whatever way feels appropriate to you. Often the simplest thing to do is to think of them and light a candle, and just spend some quiet time reflecting on happy memories. I always find that's a very powerful thing to do. And sometimes it's really nice to create an ancestors altar. And all that is basically a photograph or multiple photographs of people that have gone before that you resonate with, whether they're direct family members, whether they're pictures of angels, whether they're ascended masters or guides that you feel drawn to. It's all about you following your guidance and working with, what feels right for you, what feels safe, and what you're ready to do in this moment in time. Because we often look outside of ourselves, and if we're not following our own truth, we can make ourselves feel uncomfortable. And it's really important, I find, particularly with this kind of work. I'm going to use the work word, although I don't like it, because it never feels like work. It feels like play, but I don't want to
Exactly,
say
it's
play
always
either.
fun.
Oh, it's such fun. But play is underestimated in its power, and people think that maybe you're not taking it seriously. But the angels don't take things seriously. They love humor. And whenever I find myself becoming too serious, they always remind me to lighten up, which of course is awesome. I don't know whether I answered the question. I've completely lost track of what we were talking about.
Yeah,
Samhain, yes, the
yes,
veil.
yes, the vow we can,
Yeah,
and that's the beauty. If you look at Mexico,
yes,
how they celebrate, and
Day of the Dead. Mm,
I was lucky enough to be over in Mexico a time when they were celebrating the Day of the Dead, so I got to experience it. And the beautiful thing about the Mexicans is a year to the day that the person passes, they have a party in their honor. They invite everyone into their house because we accidentally stumbled into it. We sat down at a table and chairs. We thought it was a bar. This guy comes out and said, "What would you like to drink?" And then we've gone to pay, and he's kind of like gone, "No, come into the house. My wife and her brother died a year to a day." And it was really surreal because inside they had a big shrine to them. They had mariachi players, playing beautiful music, family. But you had people crying and remembering,
mm,
and and then they would go off to the graves, and they've got a beautiful way of celebrating.
yeah,
Of celebrating death, which I think is absolutely amazing. And Graham says one's own perspective is shifted into the correct vibration by thinking of angel beings. Absolutely. And Deborah says, "Oh, thank you, Ray, for making this possible." Oh, welcome, Deborah. Oh, Malik, my mum passed away in June this year. Sending big hugs to you. Um,
bless you, Malik. Bless
oh,
you.
for that.
Now's
And
a perfect time to speak to her. Sorry, Ray. Now's a perfect
no,
time to reach out and to light a candle and think of your mum and all the happy memories and everything that you shared, and just allow yourself that time and space to be with her, because I'm sure, yeah, I'm just getting confirmation that she's with you, she's very close with you, and I'm sure you can feel her presence. I hope you can feel her presence right now, because I'm getting that very, very strongly.
oh, beautiful, beautiful. And Graham says, "Humour, laughter from one's heart always raises energy." Yep, it totally does. And Maud says,
Certainly does.
"I have sometimes these thoughts in my head about me, 5 about childhood and 5 about high school age. They just pop into my head. I try to go deep in the thought, but it's only a few seconds I can remember. It's like me, but not in this life."
Oh, interesting. Interesting. So yeah, maybe you are remembering your previous lives, certain other childhoods and times. It's one of these things when we have these memories and experiences, I always find the best thing to do is not to try. We don't do that. What we do is we just allow these experiences to come in with no expectation. If we are looking to hang on to something, then often it will go. It's like, let's use the example of a river. We can't hold the river in our hands. We can't hold on to water. That water is just going to flow. It's just going to keep flowing. So when we have the opportunity to allow ourselves to maybe slip into the stream of a different experience, a different lifetime or memory or whatever it is, it's just allowing ourselves to go with it and trusting that what we need to see or know will be revealed at that time.
Yep. And Graham says, um, or remembering from spirit's memories of the connection they have with you, Ward.
Yes,
Um, and Ward says,
perfect.
"But if you freeze it, you can write. If you
Okay.
freeze it, you can write."
I mean, it's like pause it, I guess. Ward means, I don't know. It's difficult to interpret from a text when you're not speaking. it's just trust what feels right to you. You know, this has been the recurring theme today. It's about trust, 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 trust. So if it feels right to freeze that and capture that, if you mean that, then do that. You will know. So
Yeah. Totally. So, as you know, each week I do an angel oracle card reading or a guided meditation, depending on what my guests would like me to do. And I always ask them whether they'd like me to do that. But Melody is actually going to do a card for us this week.
thanks, Ray.
That's okay. Just throw you on the spot like that.
Yeah. So I have the beautiful cards here, crystal angels. Aren't they just gorgeous? You see,
I don't actually have that deck.
there's another interpretation of what angels may or may not look like. So I've got the cards, just banging them a couple of times on the desk.
Melody's like me. She has more than one deck of cards.
Well, I've actually got 2 cards have come out, so I don't know what they are yet. So that's the first one, and that's the second one. So you've seen them before me, and we've got, because they're the crystal angels, we've got dolomite is the first one, and the message is stay strong in your faith. A positive outcome is dependent on you keeping a positive mindset. So somebody really needs to hear that message today. Stay strong in your faith. A positive outcome is dependent on you keeping a positive mindset. So really soak in the energy of that card. Can you see it?
It's a beautiful card.
Yeah, there we are. That's better. That's better. And the second one that came out was yellow jasper, and that's control issues. Okay, who's got control issues? Utilize your God-given strength and power instead of fearing that others may try to control you. Oh, beautiful. So actually, that's the flip side. I was making fun of, this being about reminding us to let go and not have control. And actually, this card is all about us stepping into our power and being more empowered, which is perfect with a card that is reminding us to stay in our faith. So, as I would say, yes, divine and perfect.
Exactly. Absolutely perfect cards for what we've actually been talking about, which
Yes,
is
of course.
is absolutely train. And Deborah says, a saying from Melody is always with me: trust and allow, don't ask how.
Oh, bless you, Deborah. Yes, the beautiful Lavinia Saunders first said that to me, and it stuck with me for years ever since. It is a great one. It really is.
Yeah. And Maud says, I understand it. The memories are more there that when I don't think about it, but when they pop in the moment, I try to remember it more. And as Graham says, write down and record your emotions when it happens. I carry a dictaphone, or you've got your phone, you've got voice
Yeah.
on your phone. Okay, quickly, let me just speak this into the phone.
Yeah.
As a remembrance. And Malik says, wonderful cards. And
Bless you,
Graham
Malik.
says,
Yeah.
awesome cards. And
Awesome
Maud
word,
says,
Graham. Awesome indeed.
says good idea. And that. So yeah, so it's brilliant that those are those cards came out. So thank you very much for that, Melody, putting you on a
Oh,
little
you're
bit of a spot
welcome.
there, as one
Bless you,
does.
darling. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's nice for you to turn the tables instead of having to do it all yourself.
I know it's brilliant. But you know something, I'm going to do a card anyway.
Fantastic.
Because I think Melody needs a card herself. So
Oh, bless you. Thank you so
what
much.
does Melody? What does? Oh, okay. So
They're,
this is what
they're
this is for
flying.
Melody and for everyone. The flying card, crossing
Yeah.
bridges. It's time for
Okay.
healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. which is absolutely
Oh,
perfect with Samhain.
yeah. Bridging the divide. I love it. I mean, that is such a powerful symbolism between the bridge between one world and another. Uh, and reminding us that we can connect and cross, from one side to another energetically, or whatever method, some of the methods we have touched upon tonight. And I love the fact that we've been brought round to writing again or speaking, because of course writing the messages always helps. As a writer, that's a great thing that I do, and I can't think why I didn't mention it.
I was going to say, because those that don't know, Melody, she doesn't just write, she does artistic things as well, as well as working with angels and, everything
Oh,
else she
bless you.
does.
Well, the thing is, angel prayers or prayer full stop is a great way to connect with angels. So if I may, Ray, is it okay if I see
Of
what the
course you can.
angels, thank you, darling, well, this is your show.
No, 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 it's
I've
your
got
show.
it's our show.
When I have a guest, it's my guest show.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so here's a little book of angel prayers that the angels gave me um, a few years ago now. It was 2016. And I'm going to see what they want us. Ah, okay. So let's see the words of this. This one's called motivation. See if it resonates with you, and take it if it doesn't, and release it if it doesn't. Angels, dear beloved angels, please support me with your great love and understanding. Please strengthen my motivation so that I may fully engage in this exercise, as I know that it would be highly beneficial to me. I recognize that the challenging feelings I have about doing this is the realization that I will grow further on my spiritual path. Please reassure me that I am ready. Otherwise, this would not have been presented to me at this time. And so it is in love and light. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Again, perfect for what we've been talking about as well. You know, isn't it just amazing, when we come together with the angels and beings of different dimensions, etc., it all works out and funnels into the same thing that we've been talking about.
Exactly, exactly. And what, I'm getting loud and clear is it's reminding us how effortless life can be if we choose it to be effortless, if we allow it to be. Life is simple and we can choose it to be simple and easy. So let's choose that. A
Absolutely,
life,
absolutely.
yeah, a life full of effortlessness and joy.
And Deborah says, "I love, love, love this book. I read it every day."
Oh,
Oh,
bless
that's
you. Bless
brilliant.
you.
That that is brilliant. I think you've just said some last words of wisdom, but do you have any other last words of wisdom to leave us, Melody?
Well, yes, because what is there? So I'm the angels want me to say this. So I've just very briefly touched on prayer and the power of prayer. And it's not something that I came to with a background of any background at all. I didn't grow up with any knowledge of how to pray or what really prayer was. And prayer is simply a way of speaking to the angels by, helping you get clear on what it is you want to ask, and using your own words. And the most powerful form of prayer is an asking with a thanking. So you may be asking for help or support with something, and then you thank the angels for that help and support, because what you do by doing that is you step into faith that that is coming, and it's already on its way.
That's what I do. That's what I do. I always thank the angels in advance. It's like, thank you, angels, for that parking space today. I get my parking space. I always thank them in
Absolutely.
advance,
The
and then
big
thank
things, the
once I've got
small
it.
things. Exactly, exactly. And just enjoy the whole experience because it's totally awesome.
Exactly. And Graham says, "Are you busy tomorrow, Melody, at 2 p.m. Eastern?" Which I think the time difference is slightly different here. So it could be 7 or it could be 8 for us.
I have
Um,
no idea what time that is, Graham.
and Ward says, "You are, so this is you're wonderful and sweet, equally important, a real heart lover. I give you a smile, so God grants me a loving day. Be kind to everyone. Think with your heart. You are not alone. Give love and respect. Treat everyone equally. That is correct." Beautifully
Oh,
said.
bless you. Bless you. You have some really beautiful souls that tune into your radio show, and I'm not surprised at all, you know.
Yeah, and Graham says, "Happy Halloween to one and all.
To one
Hugs."
and all, and all to one. Blessings
And
on this Samhain.
and Deborah says, "Bye bye, bless you, and thank you." And thank you, Deborah, for tuning in. And Graham says it's 7 p.m. Brit
Oh,
time. Uh,
fantastic. Yeah. Yes,
and
I can be available at 7 p.m. tomorrow, Graham.
yeah, if that is still the correct time, because
Ah, we've
uh,
gone back.
we've gone back.
We've gone way
We've
back.
gone back. We've gone back an hour. I'm hoping by the time we get to me and Graham's show in a couple of weeks, we'd be sorted um, back again. So I hope everyone that you've enjoyed this conversation found it insightful, because I know I definitely have. So Melody, if people want to connect with you, how do they do that?
Oh, this is always a good one because yes, I must tell people. You know,
Yeah, how do they connect with you?
I'm having to look in the back of my book to know. So you can contact me on my website, which is thisdivinelife.com. That's divine spelled Divine, as in divine timing, darling. Um, you, of course, you can contact me on Facebook. Either my business page is This Divine Life. It's all the same.
The Divine
Um,
Darling.
yeah, it's all divine, darling. And Instagram is at this underscore divine life, and you'll find me there. And if you can't find me, just Google Melody Savage, spelt savage.
And I will put the links in the comments, so you can literally just click on it and go straight to the website,
Oh,
straight to
well
the
done, Ray.
Facebook page. Um, to, to, so so uh, so
Thanks for making things easy.
that's okay. Malik says thank you both. Thank you,
Um,
Malik.
thank you, everyone. It's been really lovely. Yeah.
And then Graham is saying 8th of November. I think he's asking you to go on his show, because Graham has a show
Oh, bless
himself.
you. Okay.
I'll hook you both up in Messenger
Yeah,
after the
thank you,
show.
darling, because I haven't got my
Um,
diary in front of you. Oh, Jill,
Jules
bless you,
Mills,
darling.
absolutely. Oh, and Graham has gone with the okay, Mrs. Bouquet.
Exactly. It's just a bit of fun.
Yes. So again, everyone, thank you so much for joining in this show, and actually joining in with your questions and answers, because you do actually make this show for us. And of course, if you are ready to remember your divine presence and step onto your spiritual path, your multidimensional path, but you feel lost, confused, stuck, or alone, then please feel free to reach out and connect with me, and we can arrange a free video call to discuss where you are now and how you can move forward to take charge of your destiny, so you can spread your wings and soar. And please feel free to join my weekly newsletter and receive a free future life progression recording, where I take you into a future lifetime to get guidance and clarity that you can use in your current life, as well as a couple of other free gifts. And again, thank you so much for watching. I'd like to invite you to share this video, as I'm sure there are more people who feel lost and want to get clear on their destiny, just like you. Find out more about angels. And of course, if you are watching this on YouTube, then please feel free to subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified when the show goes live, or when I post new guided meditations, because every subscribe on YouTube really, really helps. Again, thank you so much, Melody. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Graham says, loved you all. So, on that note, look forward to seeing you all same time, same place next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Blessings.